Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is going to be a very difficult day in this country. And let us pray for our nation. Raila Odinga has called his supporters to turn up in large numbers to protest against this government. Rigathi Gachagua, who is left in the country, is also planning to cause mayhem to Raila Odinga supporters tomorrow. And Raila Odinga has posted something on his Facebook page that has actually shocked me. But in this particular video, I want us to look at Raila Odinga's plan for tomorrow. Because Raila Odinga has big plans for tomorrow to prove a point. Rigathi Gachagua and government are also trying to prove a point that the demonstrations are actually a Luo affair. Before we get into all those, let me take you to Raila Odinga's Facebook page or even Twitter handle where he made certain post here that Rigathi Gachagua planning mayhem against protesters. Kenya is a democracy and Kenya is governed by the rule of law. Our constitution guarantees the right to assembly, the right to picket. So William Ruto and his government must clearly desist from any attempt to stop Raila Odinga and his supporters from picketing. They've been trying so hard to make Azimio protest as violent without success. But let us begin by looking at this particular statement because I want us to look at Raila Odinga's big plans for tomorrow. And this is what Raila has posted. And there are several questions. I'll do an analysis of both these tomorrow. How Raila Odinga is actually able to get all the information of almost everything Rigathi Gachagua is planning. This is what Raila is saying. It has come to our attention that Mr. Rigathi Gachagua is currently coordinating a major operation of mayhem against planned Azimio la Umoja protest rallies scheduled to take place in Nairobi tomorrow. So I think Rigathi Gachagua wants to prove a point to Raila Odinga in Nairobi. He wants to prove a point to Azimio supporters in Nairobi. I want you, in case you are a Kenyan, and now specifically if you are a Luo, I want you to say a prayer tonight to a gentleman called Raymond Omolo, who is a principal secretary in the Ministry of Interior. This is a man who, in case something happens tomorrow, because Rigathi is targeting the Luos, according to Raila Odinga, if anything will happen tomorrow, the guy will carry the burden the entire life. So pray for him because he's just an innocent man doing his job and he finds himself in a very tight angle because you have the Luos who are extremists this side and you have a government who are keen on punishing them and you have been given a task there. Say a prayer for him. But let us focus on what Raila Odinga is saying. To realize his evil and bloody plans against otherwise peaceful protesters, Mr. Gachagua has set up an armory and command center in two different locations at a house next to Bomas of Kenya that belongs to a former cabinet secretary and another on Hillcrest Drive, Nairobi, belonging to a serving cabinet secretary. Now, when Raila Odinga is talking about this location at Bomas of Kenya, what comes to your mind? During the last election, there were stories about Kenya Kwanza operating around Bomas of Kenya. And when it was investigated, it was found that it belonged to a cabinet secretary who was serving in Uhuru Kenyatta's government. Personally, up from that point up to now, I've always believed that William Ruto was able to actually penetrate Uhuru Kenyatta's circles. Now, it's continuing. These two homes are currently being stocked with all sorts of modern and crude weapons, including bunduki, pangas, machetes, for the said operation. This would be very sad. This would be very, very sad. And he's saying these weapons are being ferried to the venue in a vehicle camouflaged as St. Mary's ambulance. So according to Raila, there's a vehicle which is ferrying these armories, but they are camouflaged as St. Mary's ambulance. Some of the vehicles deployed for these operations are KBQ 721J, KAZ 432F, and KBM 771Z, among others. So Raila Odinga is going to the extent of releasing the names of these vehicles. I hope the owners of these vehicles will come out to the public, and is continuing. The same crude weapons and forces uniform are being dispatched up country location in Western and Nyanza, where youths have been booked in hotels with instructions to target specific Azimio leaders. Okay? So basically what they are saying, that the weapons have been given, so uniform are also being distributed. I remember Robert Alai earlier in the day revealed, because Robert Alai is also very credible, that there was some business printing firm in some building in Nairobi, which was actually printing Azimio uniforms for distribution to these guys. And Raila Odinga is suggesting a number of rebel Azimio MPs from these regions have been deployed in support of this dirty mission, especially in Western Kenya and Nyanza. In Nairobi, public service vehicles belonging to Embasava, Zuri, and Forward Circles have been deployed to ferry youths to places like Jogo Road, Kibra, Pandora, I think Huruma, Mudhurwa, Kayole, Kariobangi, Korogocho, Mlango Kubwa, Githurai 44 and Githuri 45. Their mission is to target Azimio leaders in Nairobi, including Babu Wino, Opiyo Wandayi, Edwin Sifuna, and Jeremiah Kioni, among others. When this planned mayhem comes to pass, Mr. Gachagua must be prepared to take full responsibility for it. So there are several questions which are being asked. How is Raila Odinga able to get the information? So the truth is, Raila Odinga has now given Kenyans the information. He has gone ahead and named the vehicles which are being used. Raila Odinga has gone further and even named matatus which are being used for this particular purpose. So hopefully, Azimio supporters, wherever you are, please be alert. But Raila Odinga is not a fool. Azimio supporters are not fools. Raila Odinga has plans for Monday. The first plan he has for Monday is that these protests are going to happen at the county levels. So if you are planning to suppress the demonstrations in Nairobi, rest assured that because you want it to appear as if it's Nairobi and Kisumu alone, other counties are going to join in, so that the tag of this protest being a Luo affair is going to be eroded. So Raila Odinga's plan, in my view, is to have as many counties as possible join the protest. And to counter this, the government yesterday and the day before yesterday denied permits to organizers of demonstrations in Kirinyaga, the organizers of demonstrations in Nakuru. They denied permit to demonstrators in Nyandarua, and I think even in Meru they denied them the permit, so that they want to confine this to Nyanza. And personally, when Raila Odinga talked of this, and I remember what Elisha Odhiambo of Game was saying yesterday in Migori, that no demonstration will happen in Game. Then Raila Odinga is now suggesting that these rebel MPs are being roped in to effect these changes. Let us wait and see how it's going to go. The second thing which Raila Odinga is planning is that they are planning to document any cases of police brutality, because that is the main thing. The police are saying the media will not be allowed to broadcast these things. Raila Odinga is asking his supporters to be vigilant. They've actually installed security cameras where they'll be moving around, and they'll be able to relay some of these activities, illegal activities, to their supporters. So if you have a phone and you are a member of Azimio and you plan to be part of the demonstration, make good use of that phone, and also make good use of internet. Just record whatever is happening. Any illegal thing, record. The police, if they are harassing women, record. If they're just clobbering people who are going about their businesses, record everything. Be part of history, record, and just document. You are doing this not for you are doing this for your country, because police brutality in this era is something which should not happen. As a matter of fact, Azimio supporters would also do injustice to this country if they were to engage in illegal activities like destroying properties. I mean, fighting fellow Kenyans. So Azimio should conduct themselves as peaceful as possible. And I think they should learn from Edwin Sifuna. Edwin Sifuna, during the last campaign, was unarmed. We saw police throwing tear gas at him, just walking. We saw all those sorts of things. The youths who were being splashed with the water canals, just peaceful. So remain peaceful if you're a Azimio supporter. That's the only way, because he who wants equity must come with a clean hand. If you want to be treated well, first of all, treat others well. If you're Azimio supporters and you're going to the demonstrations with a plan of destroying people's property, then the police will be justified to deal with you. So avoid that. But the police, you must document anything the police will be doing, so that ultimately what will happen is that the police officers will carry their own burden in future. They will have to carry that. Number three, Raila Odinga is also planning. Raila Odinga and his team are also planning to arrest any youth who will going for these demonstrations to destroy any property. As a matter of fact, they've already laid a plan for leadership during these rallies, during these demonstrations, so that each group will have their leader who will take control of them. And anybody who will be seen to be going contrary and operating out of the law will be punished instantly, because the idea is to have as many people as possible to turn out in large numbers peacefully to send a message. The government of Kenya is out to suppress anybody from coming out, and therefore they'll be ready to use force. So the only thing which can force the government to use force is if, for example, people are looting. So as we are saying, our supporters, nobody will be allowed to loot anybody's business. And lastly, supporters of Raila Odinga are advised to go to these demonstrations unarmed. When you are facing police, just carry your hands up. Carry your hands up, then wait and see what they will be able to do. Thank you, guys. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be able, I'll join the demonstrators here. Last time it was a bit chaotic. We could not even go live because I wanted to go live. It was hectic, real hectic. And because it was full of running battles. So tomorrow I'll try, and I know the police will make it very difficult for people to access CBD. But let's wait and see how things are going to turn up. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.